Have you been able to go to Hajj, to Mecca? Are you out and have you, those are huge events, right? Millions?
I wouldn't be allowed to go on the Hajj, but one of our researchers, so we've got a research fellow who's working on Islamic pilgrimage. She went to Mecca, but as part of the Umrah rather than the Hajj. The Hajj has got very complicated to participate in, and actually very, very expensive over recent years. It used to be the case that, but in any case, the numbers are limited, and the numbers are limited by the Saudi government. It used to be the case that there were a range of different travel agencies who would organise the Hajj for you, but it's now been completely kind of nationalised by the Saudi government, and so there's a lottery to get onto it. It's very expensive and quite difficult. So she wasn't able to get on the Hajj.
How much is it, by the way? Do you know?
Well, she was talking about up to £20,000 sterling.
Wow, one person?
Yeah, for one person. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, no, I mean, yeah, quite substantial and quite a substantial investment. Obviously, within Islam, it is one of the pillars of Islam that everybody who can is supposed to go on the Hajj at least one time during their life. But that then becomes, at that scale, it becomes quite a substantial financial investment. I believe it's part of a kind of shift in Saudi kind of economic policy, trying to move away from a kind of an over-dependence on petrochemical to become a more tourism, travel, kind of heritage related. So it's part of a kind of post petrochemical kind of era for them and how they see themselves developing as a country.
So what have you found that's interesting about the economies that are around these pilgrimage sites?
Well, that they're vibrant, that they come and go. They include a range of kind of official and unofficial style of economies. That there are kind of white, black, and grey economies associated with pilgrimage, if you like. So that, there might be official payments to a shrine, but then around that, there are more unofficial economies which arise out of, either accommodation or souvenirs to a certain extent, quite often. So
what about if at a pilgrimage site, the beliefs of the local people are different from the people that come to the pilgrimage site? How have you seen that reconciled?
I would try to think about it.
I'm not sure where it would be, but, I don't know, but let's say there's a site, again, that's important to Catholics, but the people that live there are all, Muslim or they're secular. How do they just, for economic sake, do they say, all right, we'll support this pilgrimage and this whole community around it because of the economics?
I think that can happen. It's the case in relation to Sikhism. As I say, one of our researchers is looking at Sikh pilgrimage to Amritsar, but also another pilgrimage site, which is actually in Pakistan. Pakistan is obviously a Muslim majority country, but they have organized tours. And again, it's kind of set up and it's quite expensive. But you have to go and join one of these organized tours to this Sikh holy site, the Sikh pilgrimage site, which exists within Pakistan territory. So they've kind of set up an infrastructure to allow that happen, to journey into, I guess, what you might describe as kind of Muslim majority context. You also have the kind of the obverse of that in Lourdes, for example. There are a number of non-Catholic groups or non-Roman Catholic groups who go on pilgrimage to Lourdes. French Tamil community in particular go kind of once a year, and they have kind of made a connection with Lourdes and with the Virgin Mary at Lourdes, and will go, once a year in pilgrimage there. And they are tolerated, welcomed with relatively kind of open arms by the local Catholic populations. I wouldn't say wholly for economic reasons, but nevertheless, there must be an economic dimension to that. But it's also this sense of the shrine being for everybody and for anybody, and that people's journeys to Lourdes and through Lourdes are diverse and can be diverse, and it should have something to offer anybody who comes.
So what are some future things that you want to study about these pilgrimage sites, or about, like you said, the anthropology of religion?
Okay, so, one of the things that I have been, I guess, kind of struck by, one of the things that I've developed throughout kind of my work in the anthropology of religion, is thinking about the extent to which religion, which is something we tend to associate with kind of texts and books and, the Bible or the Quran or what have you, is actually also deeply kind of emotional. It involves the senses, it involves the experiential, it involves the body. So this is one of the things, I'm actually planning next year to go on the Camino, to walk, probably be walking for about a month with people to experience it myself, to get a sense of what that experiential, how religion operates at that kind of experiential level.